Hello, welcome to the Lululoves Crochet Podcast, episode 18. My name is Emma and this is my podcast all about crochet and books and TV and anything else I fancy talking about really. I hope you're all well. I can't remember the last time I spoke to you. I think it was before Halloween. I have been busy making, so I'm just going to get straight into it. So I'll start with some finished items, and the first item I have to show you are the CARON mitts that I had started previously. I can't remember the designer, and as usual I've forgotten to bring my notes up, so I'll put all the details below. But anyway, I made these with ARON yarn and they've come out really lovely. I've really been enjoying them actually, and I just think that CARON mill stitch is beautiful. There we go, and I added the little sort of picot border to them. That's a free pattern, I think. I'll like I said, I'll pop all the details below, and all the yarn details are in the show notes for the previous podcast, but I will add it again in the show notes for this podcast, which will be up on my blog, so I will link those below. So that's the first item. Second items are some hats. I don't know if you remember, if you've been watching from the beginning, but I showed a crochet hat. It was a sort of a disaster project. I'd tried to make this bobble hat. I can't remember if it was for me or for Lulu, but it turned out absolutely massive and swamped me, and it was in a really bright coloured yarn. So I'd sort of given up on it, and a couple of weeks ago I was trying to sort out my office space, and I came across loads of works in progress that had been discarded, and some of them I just very ruthlessly got rid of because I thought I'm not going back to those, and I can't deal with the guilt anymore, to be honest with you. So I did find the hat, and although it was hideous, I really liked the popcorn design that I had started to achieve on the top of the hat, so I went back to it with the aim of making a beret. And I had this lovely yarn. This is, can you see that? I don't know if you can see, but it's got threads of gold through it. The lighting's not very good today. It's a, what is it now? It's a Lion Brand yarn. I think it might be one of their like thick, quick and easy or thick and easies. I don't know. Again, I'll put all the links in the blog post. So I went back to the pattern, and yeah, I came up with something that I was quite happy with. So this is the hat. You can't see the pattern very well on this one because the yarn is so chunky. I think I worked it up with either an 8 or a 9mm, and it does look lovely. I can't put it on today because I've got my hair up. It does look really lovely actually. I really was pleased with it, and I still haven't sewn the ends in. But I wanted to recreate it in ARON weight yarn because I think you'll just get a better feel for that sort of star pattern. So that was the plan, and I did buy, with Lulu in mind, some of this yarn. This was just from my local yarn shop. It's Serdar Super Soft ARON Rainbow Drops, and they had loads of lovely colours in, but I really liked this. It's just got sort of hints of blues and browns, quite neutral. There we go. So I was going to make it up in that for Lulu. I still am going to make it up for Lulu in that. But while I was at the yarn shop, I also came across this. I put a picture or some stories up of this on my Instagram if you want to have a closer look. It's Katia Crepusculo. Crepusculo. I'm not sure how to say that. It's one of these, well, it looks like velvet. there you go, look at that. I was really drawn to the colour. It's like one of those sort of Chanel yarns. It's 100% polyester. It says 5 to 6 millimetre hooks. Maybe Aran, maybe chunky, I'm not really sure. Oh, it's beautiful. And it's the softest. It's so soft. And it's really lovely to work with, actually. So in my yarn store, they had it in this lovely blue colour. They had it in a really lovely sort of emerald green and a really Christmassy, rich red. I was drawn to all the colours, but I got blue for Lulu. She does like blue. And so I set about making her beret from it. And again, because it's dark, you're not really going to be able to see, there we go, the pattern on that. It's adorable. I absolutely love her in it. So I think what I might do is write it up, put it up on the blog, and I think what I'll do is make it up in the Aran weight yarn, because obviously when you're using chunkier weight yarns, you use less, you see less of this sort of repeat. So I think I'll put it up in a chunky weight yarn with sizes for adult and maybe child. I mean, to be honest with you, there's not much difference between the size of my head and the size of Lulu's head now. And I'll put some adjustments up for using chunkier yarns, because I really want to make myself, just chucked that somewhere. I really want to make myself one of these in that red yarn. I need to go back and get some of that beautiful red yarn. Look at that. It's just gorgeous when the light hits it as well. It's just really lovely. Oh, so yes, I've been working on that, and I'm just trying to figure out the best way to put variation of sizes up. So that is, I mean, they're finished. I have 2 hats, but the whole project is not really finished, so a little bit of a cheat there. What else have I got to show you? I think that's it for finished projects, actually. I'll show you a work in progress. I was ill for a week. I'm covered in dog hair, sorry. I was ill for a week. I had some sort of sinus thing, and I didn't really feel like picking up any of my projects. So, you know, feeling a bit sorry for myself, I treated myself to a new pattern, and I really fancied making some socks. So I saw this pattern. I've made one sock. Why do my feet look so big? I don't know if I'd make them a little bit bigger. I mean, I have pretty small feet, but they always end up looking really big. This pattern is, I think it's called the Honeycomb Socks, and it's by Vita Apala. She also designed the pearl socks. I've actually got one here. These ones that I made, I think earlier on in the year. Let me show you up close the stitch if I can. There we go. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? It's beautiful, and they're really simple. I mean, I'm no sock expert, but I have made probably 4 or 5 pairs now, and yeah, this was so easy. The pattern came with loads of photos, so if you're new to socks, I definitely would recommend her patterns. It's a toe up, so you start from the toe, you work up, and the heel was slightly unusual. I haven't worked a heel like this. I guess in knitting terms it would be maybe a heel flap. It sort of creates almost like this square type of heel. You see that? So you create this bit and then a sort of flap. So that was quite interesting. I mean, I didn't have any problems with it. I think maybe I prefer the other way of making heels, but where you sort of decrease and then increase. I'm not very good with the proper terms, but you know, it's all right. Anyway, they are also long socks. I really wanted some that I could put under my wellies for when I'm out walking the dog, and they look beautiful. So I happily worked on that over a couple of days, and the yarn I'm using is, I just had to go with what I already had because, like I said, I hadn't been out. So I'm using this Katia Socks Merino Tweed. I feel like I'm using a lot of Katia yarns at the moment. The main reason for that is that they're stocked quite heavily in my local yarn shop. So yeah, they seem to have almost all the Katia yarns. So whenever I go down there and I want some yarn, that's what I pick up. But this is quite nice. It says Pure Merino Wool Superwash. 75% wool, 25% polyamide. Anyway, it's a sock weight yarn. So I'm using that, and then the for the contrast colour, again I was looking around to see what I had, and it's slightly different. Again, I can't remember what it's called. I've got it all wound up here. It's this lovely sort of pinky peachy colour. It's got really beautiful sheen to it. It is the Scrumptious 4-ply, I think. I may be wrong. Again, I'll write. It's just beautiful. Let me try and get a bit closer without unravelling my socks. It's leftover yarn from my, when I made the Hotel of Bees shawl. I had 3 colours, and this was the almost used for just the tip of the shawl. So I had quite a lot of it left. There you go, it really is beautiful. It's so soft. So I was really pleased because I was able to, you know, use that in a different project, and it's obviously been sat up there probably for a year. So I've just started the second sock. I don't want to pull anything out. I've only got that far with it. And now I've finished the first sock. I haven't really returned to the second one because, you know, I'm better now and I have been working on other things. So I must get this done because I really, really do want to wear them. I think they're going to look so pretty. There's also an edging to go around the top, and I haven't again, I haven't popped it on that one yet. I'll wait and do those together. I think the pattern suggests that you put elastic in the top. I might do that. To be honest with you, as I was working up the leg, you can probably see where I've stretched it out a bit. Obviously my the shape of my leg increases as it goes up, so I don't feel like I'm going to need the elastic because they fit quite snug, but we'll see. So that is a very beautiful pattern. It is a paid for pattern. I think I either got it through Ravelry or Etsy. I will link it. So anyway, I've been enjoying that, or I had been enjoying that. And what else am I working on? I am also working on another design idea. Here we go. This is for a cowl. Now, I started making this a little while ago. I just made it in one big strip. I think people, when I posted on Instagram, I think people thought I was making a blanket. No, I'm not. And what I did is I just slip stitched it very quickly together to see how it would work as a cowl. Now the idea behind this was that you can see this lovely lace pattern there. It's really pretty. I wanted to create something that you could wear as a cowl, get that beautiful lacy effect. That focused, yeah. Obviously still keep you nice and warm. So I wanted something that would fold over. So a block of colour and then the lace folding over. I'm not showing that very well because it's not been stitched together very well. So something like that. Obviously a lot bigger, so that you could wear it either like that or, you know, just scrunched down like this. Oh, lovely. So that was the idea, and I started, I think this is a sort of cotton wool mix, I'm not sure, I don't know what that is actually. So I started making it up again in some Aran weight yarn, and this time I was placing some decreases just gently in the bottom half so that you could almost get that under your coat, and then just have this again either folded over, haven't finished yet, folded over, or just snuggled down like that. But as I was making it up, I decided that I did not like this yarn. It's I don't know what it is actually. It's an Aran weight yarn. I think it's probably one that's maybe got 25%, 30% wool in it. But it just feels really itchy for some reason. The bottom doesn't, but this does, and I feel like I don't want this up close to my face. So I stopped. Again, I've stopped. So there's a second version. And then I got to the point where I just really wanted to make that lace. That was all I wanted to do. And I don't have a nice relaxing blankety project on the go at the moment. You know, something I can sit and do in the evenings, like a shawl, or just something you can mindlessly go backwards and forwards. So I started again just working that lace up. Still attached. There we go, look at that. Can you see that? Looks lovely, doesn't it? Look at that. And I'm just going to make myself a really big scarf, just all in that pattern. So got quite, probably over a meter's worth at the moment, not quite enough to wrap around yet. Oh, it's going to be so big, and it's going to be so big and lovely. Now the yarn that I'm using for this is there we go, look, is CARON. I don't know which one it is. It's an Aran. It's one of these that comes in these sort of tubey, it's acrylic, and it has got quite a nice sort of sheen to it. I don't know if it's picking that up or not really. Now I started this in the evening thinking that it was sort of this colour. It's not, it's quite yellowy and I don't really like it. But I'm not going to stop. I'm going to carry on, and I will either wear it myself or gift it, I think, because it's going to be beautiful. And then this obviously needs blocking, so it's going to grow again. So I've already used one ball, one I think this is 100, it might be slightly more, 100 gram ball, and I'm going to finish up this, and then I will block it, and you will really be able to see the pattern come through. I mean, you could really wear it as, just waving it about, as a little shawl or a wrap or a stole once it's long enough. And that does look quite nice. So I will write this one up as well. I will, because this is such a nice easy project, I will put this one up on the blog. I think it's maybe a 4-row repeat. maybe 3, I don't know. And once you get into it, it just flies, and it's so comforting to crochet. So I'm going to finish that, and then I'll make another one up in some nice wool yarn, really, for me, I think, because that is quite a yellowy cream. I mean, probably a true cream, I suppose. So that's that, really. Oh gosh, I'm already been yakking away. What else have I got to show you? So those are the works, those are the main works in projects. I've got a few Christmassy things on the go, and then I'll just quickly show you some new bits that I bought while I was in my local yarn store. I also bought some more of this Cartier Gatsby. I think this is one of the best sparkle yarns that I've used. I've been using this. They used to do a shade called Champagne. They didn't have it in, but I still have some left. And it's just beautiful. It's beautiful to work into projects, but also it works quite well up on its own. So it says 3 to 3.5 millimeter hooks. I've worked it up with a 4 millimeter before, and I've not had any problems with it. So they had lovely Christmassy colours, and I've only bought a couple up here to show you. So this is, don't know colour names. This, I suppose, is like a white silver, and then I got it like a grey. That's pretty. And then the one I'm working with at the moment is, this is gorgeous. I'm doing a table runner in this. This is a like a green with gold running through it. I really love that. And I also bought a black and a red, which are somewhere. So I'm going to be using those for lots of Christmassy projects. And what else? That's about it, really. I did also buy a few new stitch markers from my sick bed. No, I wasn't in a sick bed, but I was feeling very sorry for myself. I'd like to do another giveaway soon, so I have been picking up some little bits and pieces. So the first set, these were all from Etsy. I think this is from Wisebeck Wool Shop. I don't know, I'll link them below. Anyway, they are beautiful little seashells. I love those. So I'll either keep them all together or separate them for some giveaways. And then the other one I bought, which really I just couldn't resist because it was a mermaid tail, and I don't know who this one is from. I'm going to have to link this one because I don't know where I've put the details. Okay, that is, look at that. That's so adorable. Lovely little mermaid tail. So cute. It's quite big though. I might just sort of start to hang them up on here, look, so that I can see them when I'm not using them. And then the last one, which is for me. Ooh, I'm flashing again. I'm going to have to stop this in a minute. I haven't even opened this. There we go. This is from You Mama on Etsy. And it's a little Wuthering Heights book. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, yes. So this is a little Wuthering Heights. Is that the right way? I'll get there in the end. Little Wuthering Heights stitch marker. And Wuthering Heights is one of my favourite books. So it's just a little polymer. Look at that. It looks lovely. So I was really pleased with that. So here are some little treats. And I think, oh, I was also going to mention quickly that the, just checking it's recording, that I managed to get up on the blog the pattern for my Star Posy table runner. This is the table runner that was featured in the 100th, I think it was the 100th birthday edition of Inside Crochet earlier on in the year. So it's come back to me, and I've popped the pattern and a step-by-step photo tutorial up on the blog if you'd like to make that. And there's also oh dear, there's also a PDF if you'd like, which has got all the photos in as well. So that's that, and I think that's it. I'll just now I've lost track of how long I've been filming, what I was talking about. I think it's my age, to be honest with you. I'll talk to you about some books. So I read a lot over, what are we in now? We're still in November actually, aren't we? So I read a lot over Halloween, and I'll just go through, and you know, I'm very twee in that I do like to theme my books. So I will be looking at Christmassy books for the next month. But I read all these over sort of October, and they're all kind of ghostly, so just bear with me. So the first one I've got here it's The Silent Companions by Laura Purcell. Okay. And this was a really good one actually. It's about a newly widowed lady called Elsie, her name is. And she goes, she's pregnant, she goes out to live in her recently deceased husband's grand house, and all sorts of strange things start happening. They find up in the attic these wooden companions. They're called, well, they were called silent companions actually. If you ever go to any National Trust properties, sometimes by the fireplaces you will see these almost like cardboard cutouts of children, you know, dressed and in, I suppose, traditional clothes or whatever. And I always thought they were something that the National Trust just put on to give you a sense of, you know, what life was like. But they are actually a thing, and they sort of painted portraits of people, and then they were cut out, and some, you know, some of them could be quite lifelike, and then they would be placed in big houses. They were called silent companions. Now, I can only think that it would have been for the very wealthy, because it seems quite extravagant, and I'm not sure whether they really were to keep people company or just as a kind of a quaint thing to have. But anyway, they find one of these silent companions up in the attic, and it starts to sort of move of its own accord all around the house, and lots of strange things start happening, and you know, deaths follow, and it's quite sad. It's not really a ghost story, or it's more like a if you ever watched that film with Kate Hudson called The Skeleton Key, about the like the voodoo possession, it's almost a bit like that. It's more a story of sort of spiritual possession, but it's quite scary, and I really enjoyed it. I just flew through it. So it's very creepy, very yeah, just really good read. And then the next one is called Daughters of the Lake, and this is by Wendy Webb. There we go. And this was another really good book. It's about a lady called Kate who has gone to stay with her parents. Her marriage is just broken down, and she finds the body of a woman washed up on the lake, and the woman is also cradling a newborn baby, and it sort of shocks her, because she's seen this woman a lot in her dreams. So you sort of know that there's a connection between the two of them, and the woman that has been washed up, they can't identify her anyway. It turns out that she died over 100 years ago, and her body's been really well preserved by the lake. It's really good. It's kind of more, it's not really ghosts, it's more folklore. So there's a lot of, you know, the spirits of the lake and children of the lake, that sort of, it's beautiful. It's a really lovely book. So I flew through that one as well. And then the last one, it's another one actually. The next one is called The Little Stranger, and this is by Sarah Waters. There we go. They have just, or they recently made this one into a film, and it's got, I don't know what his name is. I feel like he was in Harry Potter. I didn't watch the film at the cinema, but I think it's coming out on DVD in January, so I'll try and watch it then. This is a ghost story. It's about a really big old manor house, and the family that are living in it. There's a mother and a son and daughter. They're really struggling to keep it up together. You know, everything's worn down. It's a time when, you know, after the war, when these big houses were often selling off their land for new housing estates and things like that. So they're really struggling to keep it together. And this junior doctor comes back to the village where he grew up, and he remembers the house, and he's got really sort of fond attachments to it. Anyway, he befriends them, and then strange things start happening. It's quite a long read, and you can get through a whole chapter when not a lot has happened. It's not very scary, but there was something about it that I just really enjoyed. There's really good descriptions. It's beautifully written, but when I finally finished it, and it's quite sad actually what happens to the family. When I finally finished it, I felt like I still had quite a lot of questions. So for such a big book, it was, you know, maybe a little bit disappointing at the end there, but also open to interpretation, I suppose. So it's a beautiful read, not very fast paced, you know, it's definitely not page turner, but I'm really pleased I read it, and I think I would recommend it as well. So that was that. And then the last book, and I meant to talk about this in the last episode, but I didn't because I couldn't find it, and I'm going to talk about it briefly now because I promised to lend it to my friend. This is called Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. Gillian Flynn is the author of Gone Girl. If you liked Gone Girl, you would definitely love this. They made this into a TV series. It's got Amy Adams, and it was directed by, I don't know, it just says directed from the director of Big Little Lies. So I haven't watched the TV series. A friend of mine said she watched it and she didn't really enjoy it. So, but the book was so good. Again, it's about a reporter that goes back to her small hometown to report a series of, I think are they child murders? I think it's a couple of girls that have gone missing. She's got a very odd relationship with her mum, and she also self-harms. She's cut herself, she's covered in words. She cuts words into herself. It's quite sad, really. So she's got she's obviously got a lot of issues from her childhood. She finds herself pulled into this story, and it's really good. I feel like I might have guessed the twist as I got into it. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or bad thing, really, but I think I'm still going to watch the TV series. I really enjoyed it, and I did fly through that as well. So there's another one. So there's 4 quite creepy books there. Sorry. Hopefully in the next episode I'll be able to talk about some happier stories. And I think that is probably it for today, because I feel like this may have been quite long. Did have another few bits, but I might save those for next time now. So that's it, really. What have I been watching? Oh, we watched the new Sabrina series on Netflix. That's really good. It's along the same vein as Riverdale, really. I think it's aimed at young adults. I really liked it. It's definitely a lot darker than the Sabrina we used to watch when we were teenagers, but I really, really enjoyed it, and the costumes and the house, yeah, everything's really lovely. And what else am I watching? Oh, Escape to the Chateau is back on Channel 4, so I really enjoy watching that as well. I just love them both. Dick and Angel, isn't it? Yeah, I really look forward to watching that. I think that's on a Monday evening. And that's about it, really. Looking forward to lots of new Christmas TV, hopefully soon. So I think that's what I'm going to talk about today. I hope you're all well, and that you've made time for some crafting. And I will see you all in the next episode, which I think will be, well, hopefully will be in another 2 weeks. I know this has probably been about 4 weeks actually, but I'm trying to get back to recording fortnightly. Otherwise I find I've just got too much to talk about. So thank you if you're still here, and I will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.